Hey, Survivor. Welcome to episode 28 of the Vibrant Survivor podcast. Today, we're going to kick toxic shame to the curb. I know how shameful it can be and painful when it comes to falling for the lies and manipulations of narcissists over a long period of time. So, here are 3 reasons to stop suffering in silence so you can heal and help others. If you're ready to be part of the solution, grab a notebook and pen and let's dive in. Hey, Survivor. Welcome to the Vibrant Survivor podcast. Do you want to disconnect from a narcissistic or toxic situation and heal? Are you Googling how to identify a narcissist, narcissistic abuse, and boundaries? Are you feeling stressed and lonely while trying to avoid being sucked back in and lied to again? Hey, I'm Lesley. As a busy wife and mom, I fell for the lies and manipulations of narcissists. I wasted my time, talents, and money on users who kept moving the goalposts. I wanted real relationships and business opportunities and to enjoy life with my family. Instead, I struggled with anxiety, panic attacks, and insomnia, and I couldn't trust my body or anybody until I took a holistic approach to healing. In this podcast, you'll find tips for healthy living, trauma healing, and boundaries so that you'll have the freedom, confidence, and inner peace to respond, not react, after narcissistic abuse. Take a deep breath in, let it out slowly, and just relax. This time's for you. An article in Healthline describes toxic shame in adulthood as when mistakes continue to haunt you long after they've happened, to the point where it affects the way that you view yourself, the way you feel about yourself, and can lead to not being able to admit your mistake or feeling like you can't fix it. And this can also spiral into depression, substance use, or even isolation. And we all make mistakes. I remember feeling ashamed and embarrassed for falling for the lies and future faking of the alleged murderer and a covert narcissistic female health coach who basically picked up where the alleged murderer left off in terms of the abuse, the lies, the manipulation, and even stole some of his ideas and tactics in terms of manipulating and tricking others, including myself. I felt sorry for myself, like, okay, this keeps happening. Is this as good as it gets? Am I just a magnet for these types of people? But I knew that there was a reason for these toxic encounters and that I needed to learn the lesson and use it for greater good. Thus, the Vibrant Survivor. After my pity party, I came up with 3 reasons to speak up and speak out about my trauma after narcissistic abuse. Number 1, narcissistic abuse and other trauma survivors have a hard time articulating what has happened to them. In psychiatry, alexithymia is a lack of words for emotions. And when there are no words, depression, physical pain, even acting out can result. Can you relate? So sharing your story can help others to find language around what has happened to them and put words to it and literally feel better and feel less alone, and ultimately help to normalize talking about trauma. Number 2, when it comes to trauma, knowledge is power. Trauma is an epidemic in our society right now. And psychiatrist Dr. Bessel van der Kolk says, quote, "The essence of trauma is that it is overwhelming, unbelievable, unbearable." And he goes on to say, quote, "The urgent work of the brain after a traumatic event is to suppress it through forgetting or self-blame to avoid being ostracized." And the truth of the matter is, we need people to be courageous enough to sit with that discomfort in order to increase education and awareness, to allow yourself to know what you know can lead to the spreading of the knowledge about trauma. Number 3, society needs solutions to this silent killer. Trauma is a systemic problem, and we are all in this together. We need to get to the root of the symptomatic behaviors and presentations that we encounter as we interact with each other as we go about our lives. This includes physical violence, abuse, abandonment, domestic violence, rape, and we need to not just medicate and talk, but take a holistic approach to healing. Not so much, well, what's wrong with you? Well, what's this person's problem? Well, what's wrong with them? But instead, ask the deeper question of, what has happened to you? What has happened to this person that they are behaving in this way? Let's recap 3 reasons to speak up and speak out about trauma after narcissistic abuse. Number 1, narcissistic abuse and other trauma survivors have a hard time articulating what has happened to them. Number 2, when it comes to trauma, knowledge is power. And number 3, society needs solutions to this silent killer. The bottom line here is that we need to ditch the discomfort and normalize talking about trauma. If this podcast has helped you understand who and what you're dealing with, sharpen your discernment, and move forward on your healing journey, share it with another survivor. Help me help others by leaving a review for the show. And let's connect on social. Take a screenshot, share it in your IG stories, find and tag me at The Vibrant Survivor, and I'll share your post too. I look forward to connecting with you on IG and seeing you back here. You're not alone and you're not crazy. Know who you're dealing with, know who you are. Take care, and I'll meet you back here next week. Bye-bye.